Liverpool is reopening to the Portuguese league. Ajax might have hoped to cause the biggest upset in the Champions League against Liverpool at Anfield on Tuesday night, but in the end it didn't. Instead, Liverpool took the win with Joel Matip's last-minute goal to avoid another shock. However, the place where the biggest shock was experienced was Portugal. Antonio Conte's Tottenham faced Sporting Lisbon and suffered a shock defeat. Conte's team collapsed in the last minutes at the José Alvalade Stadium. Marcus Edwards, a product of their own academies, did not score the goal, but he gave an excellent performance. Edwards, 23, is a regular teammate with Trent Alexander-Arnold at England youth level and has been successful in 4 of his 7 dribbling attempts against Tottenham. He also recorded 2 key passes and was in the focus of most of Sporting's attacks in a third of the field. His lively and hard-working performance as a fake number 9 was absolutely stunning. This season, he managed to be noticed with his contribution of 6 goals in 8 games, and a fan base has formed who argue that he deserves to be called to the England national team. It's not clear yet if Gareth Southgate has heeded these requests, but given Edwards' age profile and explosiveness as well as versatility, he deserves to be on Liverpool's radar. Julian Ward has become a name for someone who loves to shop in the Portuguese market and has strong connections there. Liverpool's last 2 big signings from outside the UK are Porto's Luis Diaz and Benfica's Darwin Nunez, respectively. Now the next name may be Edwards. There is a £52 million release clause in the player's contract, which shows us that Sporting signed a contract believing he would shine. However, the performance of Nunez, who joined the ranks of Liverpool for a record price this season, may be a breaking point for the Portuguese market and Edwards. However, the player side has announced that they want to return to the Premier League one day, and that is a good development. When asked if he would like to play in England's top flight in the future, Edwards said, "Of course, this is my home, of course I want to go back to the Premier League someday." If he continues as he plays now, Liverpool will make their move to make this dream a reality. For now, he's only watched for Ward and his coaching staff. If the next purchase from Portugal goes half as well as Diaz's, it will be a roaring success. Do you think Edwards can succeed at Liverpool? Jürgen Klopp unleashes new Liverpool pressing monster. A team's performance relies on the efforts of 11 players and contributors from the bench. After team play has broken out, it's natural to look at how the starting 11 is built. Hours before the Ajax match, questions such as who is in the centre-back duo, whether the first-choice full-backs are playing, whether there is Thiago Alcantara and Fabinho in the midfield are the thoughts that everyone wonders. However, when we go back to the past, the names of the players in the front 3 were very clear. Mohamed Salah on the right, Sadio Mane on the left, Roberto Firmino would lead the team and create space in the middle. This extraordinary trio no longer exists. They made their last debut together in February and have been in the starting lineup just 4 times in all of 2021-22. Mane's departure to Bayern Munich meant that a period of frontal evolution was inevitable, and the process took another step forward in their 2-1 Champions League win over Ajax. The Netherlands champions chose Jürgen Klopp, Salah, Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz for their visit. It was the first time they were starting a match together, and they hadn't had many opportunities even in previous matches. There were only 7 instances of the trio being on the field at the same time, the 30 minutes they took in a home match against Leicester City. In none of those matches, which included the League Cup final and the Champions League semi-final against Villarreal, did 2 out of 3 come together to assist and score goals. There was at least one instance in Liverpool's 2-0 win against the Spanish side, where the trio linked up to create a chance. Salah drove forward from the half-court line, played the inside ball to Jota, and then found Diaz. The Colombian shot an excellent shot. But beyond this beautiful shot, it turned out that there was a beautiful connection between the 3 forwards. They were also heavily involved in the chaos at the end of the last Merseyside derby. In the 3rd minute of the timeout, Jota found Salah, but his shot was blocked. Less than 120 seconds later, Diaz set his Egyptian counterpart up for a saved goal attempt. The kickback went to Jota, who found the misplaced goal attempt Salah and had another effort. These close misses were overshadowed in the 17th minute of the match against Ajax. A long pass from Alisson Becker was led by Diaz. The ball went to Jota, who played Salah, and he rolled home. The former Wolves player scored 4 goals for the Reds number 11 against Leipzig, Manchester United home and away and Ajax. The two obviously intertwine well in big games. Data from the Ajax match show that the triple press is fine as a unit, and this will greatly please Klopp. No advanced data are available for the Eredivisie, but in 6 Champions League games last season, goalkeeper Remco Pavir made a total of 25 passes while under pressure from opponents. On Tuesday night, he scored 26 points in 90 minutes at Anfield. Although Jota was known as the monster of pressure, it was Diaz who had the biggest influence here. In a game where the Reds held 56% of the ball, he recorded a stunning 33 presses. Only once in each of the last 2 seasons has a Liverpool player put too much pressure on the opponent, less than 10 times in each campaign, when the team has had the ball so often and regardless of the number of possessions. A game obviously doesn't prove or decide anything. But if the combination of Diaz, Jota and Salah can both continue to press well and combine to score goals regularly, Klopp may have found his preferred front trio for the near future. Do you think Liverpool's front trio should consist of Diaz, Jota, Salah? Could Klopp have made a mistake in the £65 million transfer against club wishes? It was known that Liverpool's manager, Jürgen Klopp, was the driving force behind the signing of Darwin Nunez, but it was reported that the club did not take kindly to this transfer. Signing £65 million, Anfield started his career with a goal but then continued as a red card and bench. Nunez had a very inconsistent start to his Liverpool career. Signing a 6-year deal means he is seen as a long-term mainstay with this team, and it will take time for the former Benfica forward to reach his full potential with the Liverpool jersey. But ever since Klopp pushed for the autograph, the pressure has been on. While this pressure makes it difficult for Klopp to manage the team, it also forces the players' side for Nunez to put in a performance as soon as possible. According to reports from the Spanish press, it is reported that the club remained baffled as Jürgen Klopp dismissed the anxious thoughts about Darwin Nunez. Also, although the striker's lack of cognitive abilities, displayed both in practice and in the games, was claimed to be a real concern, the German manager dismissed these suggestions and asked for his signature. Despite an unstable start, Nunez was backed by former Liverpool manager Rafael Benitez to succeed at Merseyside. "I think he will score a lot for Liverpool and give them a different dynamic than Roberto Firmino," said Benitez. It is natural to expect great things from Nunez, who came for a huge fee of £85 million. Especially against Manchester City in the Community Shield. Expectations were high after he scored in his first game, and he managed to score a goal in the opening match, which was a 2-2 draw with Fulham. Right now everyone is wondering how Nunez will still fit in the team and how he will make connections in which role. He needs more time to find himself again, but he may have to push himself further with Diogo Jota coming back from injury. In Klopp's Ajax game for doing well in a similar role as when he played centre. It had been his first choice. The pressure from the offensive line from Jota has been really great, and Klopp looks like he'll have a hard time getting him to the side. If Jota continues to do business in this role, the sidelines of record transfer Nunez will be a burden on the German manager. Which name do you think should play in the middle of Liverpool's offensive line?